Hey guys, so I was actually going to make this video yesterday, but the reason why I didn't was because EA dropped the Neymar card. Could I have done the video afterwards? Yes, but I kind of figured, you know what, I'll just do it tomorrow morning. So for today, guys, we're going to be talking about the situations that's happening between Manchester United and PSG. The reason why I want to talk about these two clubs is because, as you guys know, I am the type of person that when I don't see things being done in close to perfect, because you can never be perfect, obviously, but close to perfect ways, it bothers me, right? Hence why I did the FIFA rants video, because that's a whole different situation. That's a lost cause. Honestly, years to come, it'll be the same. But I want to talk about Manchester United and PSG. So the Manchester United game is the first thing that I want to talk about. I think there's not really much to say other than the point that, or the fact that it's an absolute embarrassment at this point that Manchester United are in the situation that they're in, spending as much money as they have, right? You already know that the situation in this club is absolutely horrendous when a player like Eriksen is playing as your box-to-box. The moment I saw Eriksen playing as the box-to-box player, I'm like, this could spell complete trouble for these guys. I think they're in huge, huge trouble. And it was very clear as day that the balance was completely off. It really was completely off because, listen, man, you sign Eriksen to be your cam or to be your substitute cam, okay? You don't sign Eriksen to be your box-to-box. And if you did sign Eriksen to be your box-to-box, then you're absolutely clueless when it comes to football, okay? You're clueless. You can play him as a center mid if you play a 3-back, but your 3-back needs to be well compensated in the left-sided position, right-sided position, and the midfield position, which you have yet to have in the midfield position. So this is out of the question in general, okay? He can only play as a cam. Don't play him anywhere else, okay? Box to box. They're playing him box to box. You know why he's playing him box to box, Erik ten Hag? Because he still doesn't have the midfielder options. Man United has reached a point right now where the right-sided player, they can sign if they want to. But we've reached a point where what they actually need is two midfielders, right? Two, not just one, two. Okay? Because, guys, let's just say, for instance, they signed De Jong. Okay, he signed De Jong for whatever he costs, 80-something million, which, to be honest, in my opinion, I don't think it's going to happen at this point, right? And we'll be talking about that. 80-something million, you signed De Jong. Okay, what if you have to rest De Jong? What if you have to bench De Jong? What do you do then? Who's going to play in front of De Jong? You're going to go back to Fred McTominay? No, you need another midfielder. They're getting linked to Rabiot right now. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't mind the quality that Rabiot has, especially at 15 million, okay? 15 million is somewhat good transfer business and somewhat not, right? The reason why it's somewhat not is because Man United fans complain about Pogba being the problematic player when Rabiot was another problematic player, right? Now, if you can get past the problematic stuff, it is a good signing. A 27, 28, I think he's around that, right? 27, 28 Rabiot, who's a decent midfielder. I wouldn't say he's a world-class midfielder. I think he's definitely a decent midfielder. For 15 million, I don't mind that transfer business if we are eliminating the prospect of him being a problem or being a problematic person in the squad, okay? But that's a risk that a big club like Man United shouldn't be taking, but at this point, they should, because they've created that situation for themselves. Guys, Manchester City has an absolutely world-class player like Rodri playing in the team, right? Which was the reason why Fernandinho started playing less. He wanted game time. He wanted to go elsewhere, right? Rodri, one of the very few players in the world of football that can play the way that he is, very few players would actually replace him. Most managers would love to have a player like Rodri in their team. 100%, okay? So that is a top-class player. But you know what Man City did? They got rid of Fernandinho and they acted quick in the market and signed Phillips right away. Manchester United got rid of Nemanja Matic, who was past his prime anyways, but they got rid of Nemanja Matic and then signed no replacement for him. They signed no replacement. You're 2 games into the season, 6 points behind, being one of the biggest clubs in the world, and you still haven't signed replacements. You've actually created a situation for yourself, United, where you cannot be that type of club where you could just pull players left, right, and center. You're creating a situation for yourself where You are either going to buy players for a low amount, a super high expensive amount because you're not in the Champions League, so you have to really convince players to come to your club and join your project, or you got to sign players on loan. That's the situation you've created yourself because of how slow you guys were in the market. Signing Lisandro Martinez for, like I said in the first video, for 50-something, 60-something million, depending on if it's pounds or if it's dollars, right, was clueless. It was absolutely clueless for the current situation that you're in. You not signing Palhinha, who I've been talking about for 3 years. Well, go check my Twitter account. This is a player that Man United should do or should get because this makes sense. And I'm thinking like, hey, 30 million, you know, not bad. 15 million and you don't sign him, right? You don't sign him. So cheap and you don't sign him. Okay, fine. You don't sign Palhinha, you don't sign the Palhinha player. It is what it is, right? You're in a situation right now where you don't have proper midfield replacements. You need to create a situation for yourself at this point where you're going to replace McTominay only to be your squad player, okay? Only as a squad player. You need to sign 2 midfielders at this point. De Jong, if you guys check Twitter right now, it's basically confirmed that De Jong doesn't want to leave. He wants to stay. And if he does leave, he doesn't want to go to Manchester United as much. The reason why he's saying it in this wording is because Manchester United have created a situation for themselves, like I said earlier, where they're going to have to spend a huge amount of money to sign someone like De Jong without having Champions League football and without having a plan in their game style, right? Whatever, if they sign De Jong, if they don't sign De Jong. But it looks like you're not going to sign De Jong. So now you've created a situation for yourself where you have to look at squads who have players that are not playing as frequent, who may not have the chance to play as frequent, and work with their playstyle as it is. Not work with the perfect playstyle that Erik ten Hag wants, but with players that are going to be suitable for those positions. I'll give you guys 2 examples, right, of players that they could potentially go for at this point because of the club situation and their playing time. The 2 potential players they could go for right now, and it mostly would have to be on loans, is Miralem Pjanic, right? Because let's think about the Pjanic situation. If Barcelona ends up keeping De Jong, right, who can replace Sergio Busquets in that team, I like De Jong more in the center mid position, to be honest with you. I really do in that Barcelona setup as well, but he could definitely play CDM as well. But if De Jong is kept in Barcelona, you have a situation with Pjanic where you can sign him, who is an Erik ten Hag player. Don't get me wrong, you know, Pjanic is a little bit older. He might not be the type of player that Manchester United wants right now, but that's a situation that you've created for yourself. You need to sign players that your manager wants and wants to play to his play style. Don't be in a situation like you were in the past with Mourinho where he wants certain players like Perisic, this and that, and you don't back your manager. No, you have to back your manager, right? And if you don't want to back your manager, the manager situation is weird because he only wants Eredivisie Dutch players because these people are incompetent to look at other players that exist, right? But Miralem Pjanic is a viable option that you can get for loan because that's the situation that you created for yourself. Another player that you could potentially get is someone like Danilo Pereira, because Danilo Pereira is in a situation right now for PSG where he might not play that often because the 2 positions that he can play is center back as well as midfield, right? CDM position mostly. And they've signed players like Renato Sanchez, Fabian Ruiz, Vitinha, Verratti. They still have Paredes in the team. Those guys are all going to go ahead of Danilo Pereira in the current setup that Galtier has in that 3 at the back system. So that's another player that you guys can get. And he's probably not going to be too expensive. 30-year-old player, get him on loan. He's going to get some playing time. Probably going to be a player that can be a player that's going to be like decent at this point in time. But you cannot present yourself with a situation again where you're going to be using McTominay in your squad unless he's a squad player, okay? Guys, these are not the super ideal signings that a fan wants or that Manchester United wants, but this is the situation that they have created for themselves. These are the types of players that they have to sign with their current situation, okay? And these are only players at the top of my head without doing any sort of research, without being spent millions of dollars on just to look at, okay? Rabiot, the only one for 15 mil. The problem with him is he could potentially be problematic, right? That's the problem with him. 15 million, the value of, if we eliminate the problematic part and we get Rabiot for 15 million for being a decent midfielder who, to be fair, let me mention this again, is more of a center mid than a CDM that can play CDM, but is more of a center mid. 15 million is not bad for a decent midfielder. Striker, they're linked to Morata. Guys, there's not a whole lot of striker options to work with on the transfer market. The reason why people are so linear when they think about the football world, right? The reason why Morata costs as much as he does every single time he gets transferred to different teams is because Morata is actually a decent striker for the type of playstyle that he is in game, right? For the price that he's at, because strikers, guys, is not an easy thing to come by in the football world unless you spend a ton of money on them, okay? It's just not. People need to think about this. Morata wasn't great at Chelsea, but you know what? Chelsea has this weird number 9 thing where they just don't perform that well in that club. It is what it is. They've yet to sign a striker that has been very convincing in that team. Honestly, probably ever since the Drogba, Diego Costa days, right? Honestly, ever since those days. And wasn't Drogba 11 and Diego Costa was a 19? But either, regardless, like, ever since those two, I can't think of players that were like, oh, this guy's like a really good, consistent player for the squad, right? So Morata, playing in these other teams, he offers what he offers at the very least, right? So to be honest, for 30 million, I don't mind it. I'm going to be honest with you, in your current situation for Morata with the strikers that exist on the market, I don't mind it. I really don't. In your current situation, I don't, okay? So that's the situation that you've created yourself in Manchester United. You have to sign these types of players because, I don't know, right? I don't know. Guys, they got rid of Cavani, they got rid of Juan Mata. If you were going to get rid of Juan Mata only to sign Eriksen, what was the point? Please tell me what was the point of that, right? In the time period, because we always look at hindsight, we always look in the future when it's happening right now, right? But before, when I was thinking, okay, they're going to get rid of Juan Mata, they're going to get rid of Lingard, they're going to get rid of Matic, blah, 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 because they're actually going to sign players. And they didn't. You get rid of Juan Mata, who is 100% familiar with your current club situation, with the players that you have in the club, who performed the way that he did once he was given an opportunity under Ralf Rangnick, right? Linking up with Cristiano Ronaldo like an absolute monster. And then you get rid of him because his contract goes out when you should have extended it by a year if you were gonna go sign Eriksen anyways. Like, what? If you're going to get rid of Juan Mata, it's because you have a long-term replacement. You have a long-term replacement for a player like that. But you sign Eriksen. Why would you sign a new player when you can have a player in your club that plays really well, that offers you that play style that could be really nice? You guys remember how Juan Mata played in those last few games. He was great. When finally given the opportunity, the link-up play, like I said, between him and Ronaldo was fantastic. So you get rid of Nemanja Matic. You don't get a replacement for him. For a player like him, there's no player like him in the team at all, right? You could get a player who's 35 years old that will play like Matic. At least it's something that plays like that play style. But you don't do that. Cavani goes out. You don't sign another striker. Ronaldo could still leave. Who knows? Confusing, man. Confusing on another level. Guys, Erik ten Hag is a good manager. He doesn't have the players to play the play style that he wants. You know who else didn't have the play style or the players to play the play style that they wanted? Ralf Rangnick. And people were on him. A manager that has literally told you to your face, to the media, you got to dissect this team. You got to get rid of like 10 players. You gotta dissect it entirely. You gotta sign like 10 players. And you've barely seen any of that happening. I remember to this day, because I always used to tell people about Mourinho at Manchester United. I'm like, you guys think that you have to, I'm gonna tell you this right now. If you're a Manchester United fan, you need to get rid of this Sir Alex Ferguson mentality that you have inside your brain. You have to get rid of it because he's not there anymore, okay? You are not that same team. You're not. Let me tell you guys something, okay? Mikel Arteta at Arsenal was in a situation where things were not looking great. This was happening. Oh, is Arteta the right replacement? Blah, blah, blah. This is social media. This is the fans in the stadium, right? This is These are people that respond off of emotion and only see things in linear ways. The owners at Arsenal were smart to keep him and to build a team proper for him to play the play style that he wanted. And Arsenal has started off really nicely. And to be fair, they've played great football. You know why? Because they've actually had glimpses of that when Arteta first went there. When you get glimpses and you see the potential, you got to work with that potential and build from it. Right? That's what you have to do. You have a team like Manchester United that they blame this player, this player, this player, this player, this player, this player, this manager, this manager, this manager, this manager. And you don't look at the whole picture. It's confusing to me. Managers or owners of United or whoever's in charge of this club, if you were going to sign Erik ten Hag and not make the signings that he needs and get rid of the players and do this and do that, why don't you sign a manager that was going to work with the players that you had but played a 3-back formation? Can I show you guys an example of what I would go with for a manager that is competent to play in this formation that could potentially transform certain individual players? I'm going to show you guys an example, okay? You guys see, oh, this one is not working. This is an old setup. This is for my Twitter. So let me switch this to, is it one primary monitor? Nope, that's the other one, 19, this one? Yeah, that one. Sorry, I'm using Footbin. It's because you know, it's just how it works for me, you know what I'm saying? Okay, so this is the club, this is the team right here, right? Let me just put this right down here. Okay, you see how I don't have a McTominay in the team? It's because of certain reasons. You guys are going to see certain things, you're going to be like, oh, but this, oh, but that. Again, responding off of emotion and seeing things in linear ways and not thinking with your brain, okay? For people who understand football and you see a team like this is a way better balanced team in certain variables, okay? You're not playing Sancho as a striker to actually play as a striker. That's not the reason why he's there, okay? Let me talk about this whole team. So De Gea, absolute horrendous, disastrous game for Manchester United playing the goalkeeper position. Not gonna say that he doesn't. Guys, here's the thing I'm gonna say about De Gea. De Gea is a good shot stopper, which he wasn't even able to do against Brentford, so it made him useless in that game, right? He's a good shot stopper, but a goalkeeper nowadays needs to be a good shot stopper and a brilliant passer of the ball. This is very important. Look at Man City again. I'm going to talk about Man City again. They have Ederson who can, well, Ederson shot stopping wise, he's questionable sometimes. I'm not going to lie to you, but that passing play style by itself, Pep will keep in the team. Just that passes, he will keep him in the squad, just from that alone, okay? But they also signed Ortega, who is yet another competent goalkeeper at doing both of those things. And they signed him for a pretty good amount too. I think it was like, what, 15 million for a 29-year-old goalkeeper? Brilliant stuff. Man City, they run well. People meme them for money, this, money, this. Man United have money, but they don't spend it as intelligently as Man City, okay? Except for the Grealish situation. 100 million for a player that in his system played more in a 4-2-3-1 cam than left wing. Like, that's a whole other video we'll talk about in the future, maybe, right? But other than that, a really well-run club. They didn't even sign Holland for that much, considering everything. I think it was like, what, 75 million for a world-class striker? But anyways, you have De Gea in your team. Yeah, De Gea is a good shot stopper. On his day, he's a great shot stopper. Honestly, has saved Man United on constant occasions. I know that you guys are looking at this Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Guys, let me explain to you about Aaron Wan-Bissaka and the reason why I have him at right center back. Aaron Wan-Bissaka is an absolutely brilliant, keyword brilliant, tackler of the ball. If you can somehow transform a player like Aaron Wan-Bissaka, who used to play as a right back, and you can transform him into a proper right center back, you have a lot of potential. The money that you spent on him may actually be well worth it if you can do this. Guys, remember, with world-class managers, when they see the potential in certain players and they can rotate them in certain ways, it's brilliant. Jose Mourinho is the reason why Ronaldo became a striker. Jose Mourinho is the reason why Sergio Ramos became a center back, and one of the best center backs of all time, by the way, ever since that switch. Okay? Remember that. People meme Mourinho. Oh, I can't wait for him to play as a left wing back for like attackers and stuff, right? Mourinho knows how to fully utilize the players at his disposal. At Manchester United, you didn't back him properly, okay? At Tottenham, he didn't get backed properly like Antonio Conte is right now, and he still reached the finals with him. Look at what he did for Roma, okay? Guys, people will look at Roma and they'll be like, oh, Roma won the Conference League, which is a new competition, this and that. Guys, let me ask you a question. I'm going to talk to you from a video game perspective, for those of you, because you guys are from the FIFA community, right? I might talk to you from a video game perspective. If you're a person who is playing a manager career mode and you take a club that finished in 6th or 7th place and they've confirmed a Europa Conference League spot, would you not do your best to win the trophy? And would you not be incredibly happy if you won a tournament format trophy? You would, because it's a big deal for that level of football that you're playing at. And now you have just transformed your team in general, where you have gone up a level. In Mourinho's case, now he's Europa League. Who knows? Maybe next year he becomes a Champions League team, right? Meme him as much as you want. He won a trophy for them for the first time in years, okay? It's a tournament format. The teams are competitive at the end of the day, and you still got to go for the W, okay? Which he did a great job of doing. So Aaron Wan-Bissaka, I think, has potential at right center back. If you don't want to do this, okay? If you don't want to do this, I have personally reached a point where play this guy. What happened to this guy? Listen, injuries this, no problem, okay? But if he's not injured, this guy's a good center back. If he's not injured, he is a good center back. Why are we not playing this guy? You guys only play Maguire because his distribution is decent, but he's just not agile. He's not fast. He doesn't respond quickly. The only way Maguire can play in your team, okay? The only way Maguire can play in your team is if Maguire is playing like this, with these guys dropping back. That's the only way he can play. But even this, I can't stand the look of him. This is what it should be. This right here, I'm looking at Lisandro Martinez and I'm like, okay, this works a little bit more, playing as a left center back, okay, being the distributor of the ball. This is how it would line up in the defensive position. And here's another thing, man. Yo, United, you guys ever going to give this guy an opportunity? You guys ever going to give this guy an opportunity? The game against PSG, when he played, he was great. He has potentially showing you sparks. You don't play him consistently. Okay, whatever. This is the back line. The midfield, you can see I don't have McTominay. I don't have McTominay there because it's just, maybe in a 3-back, he could play in it. Maybe, right? But at this point in time, no. You got to sign De Jong or Rabiot, right? But even Rabiot, you put Rabiot here. This is a little bit of a better system, play style, a little bit better, right? De Jong 100% is more of a viable option. But even if you did this, because you could potentially get him on loan, right? To play in that midfield position, because this is the situation you've created yourself, right? You could do that. This kid, big fan of this kid, man. I like this kid. He has a certain spark in him that I like, and I hope that he can keep it going, because there's something about this kid that I like. I'm telling you that I like him a lot. So we play him at left wing back, right, or left mid, playing as that push forward, come back type of guy, right? You could even play Luke Shaw there. He was horrible in this game against Brentford, but you could play Luke Shaw there as well. Diogo Dalot, I would 100% consistently play him in that right-sided position, because Dalot can cross with his left foot, he can cross with his right foot, he can attack and defend, and you need that type of player there, okay? Your cam has to be a replacement of either him or Eriksen. The reason why I have the team set up the way that I do right now, with Bruno Fernandes playing as the cam, is because, and Bruno Fernandes playing as a cam and Sancho as a striker, is not because I want Sancho to play as a striker. You know what I want Sancho to do, and I need him to play on that left side. I need it, okay? Is to play it like this. I want Sancho to be doing this the whole game. Even go here sometimes. Go here, go here, go here, go here. This. I want free roam. I want this guy to just do his thing, okay? In that striker position. Okay, you do that with Sancho in that area. Bruno Fernandes as your cam. Bruno Fernandes, when he's doing this in a team, that's where he's best utilized. When he's doing this constantly. Rotating between striker and the cam position, okay? He scored goals for Portugal in that most recent qualifier, those 2 goals, because of him doing this. Okay? That's how you best utilize him. And then obviously Ronaldo up top is a striker. Not much to say there, okay? Because you don't have another striker. Then in the future, you know, if you sign Morata, you know, you have an option there. And then honestly, you're not looking at it, but Belotti is a free agent right now that you can sign for a short period of time as well if you really wanted to. But you're probably not going to sign Belotti, to be honest with you, right? But the midfield situation, you have to. You have to buy 2 players. You have to. I actually don't mind Fred because, guys, listen to me. What I'm going to tell you, okay? In the current situation with Fred and Manchester United, it's not working out. Don't get me wrong, right? But Fred is a good player. He has to play next to someone who is competent, just like Pogba had to play next to someone who is competent, okay? In that midfield position. Pogba plays for the French national team. They have Chouameni and they have Conte. 2 players that will allow him to play that play style. You know what Fred has in the Brazilian national team? He has Casemiro and Fabinho. They play 4-2-3-1 in the national team, and Fred still plays in that CDM position. You have Twitter coming out with their memes. Oh, Fred is all of a sudden playing like a monster because you guys are looking at it from linear perspectives. You're looking at it like you're clouding everything else around the individual beautiful things that these players can offer in your team because you're ignoring things. Oh, all of a sudden Fred plays like a beast for Brazil? No, it's not all of a sudden. It's because there's a balance in the team. Okay? This is me wanting to play a 3-5-2. Wanting to, okay? But it's probably not going to happen. The only situation that Manchester United has right now that they're probably going to either go with is still that 4-2-3-1 or that 4-3-3 formation. But guess what? The situation still stands. Maguire, I can't even. They literally only play this guy because he was 80 million. I'm telling you this right now. At this point, like what, you know what I'm saying? Maguire maybe can be good, but it's got to be in a different system, man. It's got to be. Something's got to change for him to potentially be decent. Okay, something's got to change. So I don't know. Maybe they play like a 4-3-3, right? But you need this player there. You need the guy in the middle, right? Again, you could have got Palinha for 15 million. You didn't do that, right? This guy here, this guy here, this guy here. You know, this you want to keep that for now. Be my guest. Honestly, Maguire, you got to do something. You got to switch it up, bro. I don't care how much money he was. You got to switch that up. Sancho, please, everything that is beautiful in this world. Put Sancho on the left side, please, man. Put him on the left side. No Rashford, okay? If you're gonna do this, it's gotta be Elanga at this point because you don't have a right-sided player. You don't have the left-sided player. Where is he? Do I not have him here? I don't have him here. Or you don't have a right-sided player, so just do that for now, at the very least, right? At the very least. But you gotta sign. Dude, they have to, if they're going to keep these players, they have to sign 3 or 4 players. I'm not even joking. They have to sign 3 or 4 players, guys. They have to. If they don't make these signings, they're in trouble, dude. They're screwed entirely. This video is already long, so I might make a PSG video separately. But for now, we'll just keep this as a Manchester United video. All I'm going to say is that they need to make signings on the market and they need to act quickly. Guys, the only reason why I mentioned Danilo Pereira and Pjanic is because I am going off of the top of my head for the current situation in Manchester United without doing any sort of research for any other players that could potentially play in those positions that are available in the transfer market. Those are 2 players you can 100% get, especially if De Jong does not become available and Pjanic remains in that club. You could potentially do that for the play style that Erik ten Hag wants to play. But you still got to sign 2 midfielders. This McTominay situation, no. McTominay, honestly, I think McTominay would actually benefit hugely from playing in a team like Atletico Madrid, to be honest with you guys. If he played for a team like Atletico Madrid, that's a different situation. But this has you 3 to 4. You don't make no 2, not just 2, 3 to 4. You don't make 3 to 4, you're done. You're done. Thanks for watching the video, guys. I'll see you guys for the next one. Peace.